You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. I'm Stephen Cabral. Today, on our Friday review, I like to review my best of the best. So every Friday, I'm trying to give you typically some type of nutritional supplement that I've been reviewing or that I use in my own practice, a book that I've been reading recently, or maybe one that is a favorite of mine that I come back to from the past, and then anything else that's going on, like any other products that I'm looking at, anything that, again, that I use in my own practice, I like to share with you that as well. So today is no different. This is, for me, a blast from the past. Probably, I don't know how long it's been, maybe 12 years ago. I don't know if it's been that long or not. But this is the book that originally got me to contact who would turn out to be my mentor getting into my naturopathic doctoral degree. And her name is Margaret Smith Peet. She's a naturopathic doctor, like myself. She got into it studying Ayurvedic medicine, just kind of like myself. Actually, she moved me into that arena as well. I was more of a maybe science-based, more functional medicine-based, research-based before that. But it wasn't enough. That really wasn't working. And even though there's just, again, so much great advice, what got me over the edge was adding in a lot of this lifestyle-based stuff. And so what I did was, I don't know how I got her book. It's one of those amazing things that sometimes you just you find the perfect book or the perfect mentor or podcast or whatever it might be, and it just speaks to you, and you know what? They're like, this person just gets me. Like, this is the information I needed at the right time in my life, and I'm going to follow through on it. And I don't know what it was, but so let's go into it. Her book is called My Doctor Says I'm Fine, So Why Do I Feel So Bad? It was probably just the title of the book that caught me. Like, every doctor I went to said, Steve, you're totally fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Your blood looks great. I don't know why you can't walk up a flight of stairs without having to lie down at the top of it. I don't know why you have these swollen glands, why you have pains in your stomach, why your lymph nodes are swollen, why your joints aren't. I have no idea why. Your blood looks good. And so my doctor was saying, we just can't figure it out. We don't know what the issue is. And so I'm like, okay, well, I look like a healthy human being on the outside, but I feel terrible. I have brain fog. I'm getting like hot flashes during the day. I can't concentrate anymore. I'm having more difficulty, studying and reading. Like, what's going on? I'm only 17 years old. And it was years of that. It was really brutal. And I read this book, and I'm like, you know what? This is the complete opposite side of the spectrum. Like, this is taking conventional medicine. This is taking functional medicine and just like flipping it on its head. It's like so far in the other direction. It's not woo-woo. Like, it's not like where you're just talking about like auras and things like that. And again, I have no problem with that, talking about that either. But this is talking about like how to look at your tongue for health, how to look at the lines on your face, how to look at posture, your kind of dosha or your constitution. And it was so far removed from what I was thinking, but it made so much sense. So now I combine the two. And here's what happened though, is after reading this book, I just felt such a connection. I looked up the author, and she was from Maine. And so I said, I don't know if she still lives in Maine. I don't know if she has an active practice. And I just said, I need to meet with her. And I don't know what possessed me to do that. I've never done that before in my life. But I literally took the bus to Maine to meet her. She just thought it was amazing that I contacted her because of her book, and she met with me for hours. It was, to this day, like, it still kind of chokes me up a little bit because she showed me how functional medicine can be combined with Ayurvedic medicine. Never before have I ever seen that before in my life, and that this is what I should be doing with my life. Now, she didn't tell me that when I first met with her, but after subsequent meetings with her, me taking the bus to Maine from, around the Boston area where I was living, gave me a profound experience on how you don't have to just be totally Eastern or totally Western. You don't have to be just conventional medicine or just like all herbal based or any of those things. And even though it doesn't say it in this book, she is a phenomenal functional medicine practitioner as well. She combines the two. She's got me into it. And obviously I have this super obsessive type personality where then I was like, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. And then I just start reading, thousands of books on the topic. That's just me. I mean, that's how I get into it. And then I just met with her actually, it's been a couple of years now, but I met with her again after I got my degree, had been in active practice. And it was just amazing, the transformation and journey that I've gone on and being able to then talk knowledgeably, I would hope on, that same level with her. And again, it's just truly thankful for her and all of her work. And it does not get the credit it deserves. But I'll tell you, this book, even though it's so different than you would typically read, it has a foreword by Dr. David Perlmutter, by Vasant Lad. I mean, these are huge doctors, in the industry, really, really well respected. Jeffrey Bland, who's like he's literally the father of functional medicine. Dr. D'Adamo, all of these people gave this book reviews, and these are well-respected doctors. So I do recommend taking it seriously. And I'm not going to go more into it now, but basically she's saying that illness develops, this is the back cover of the book, illness develops out of imbalances and not overnight. Western medicine provides us with a few tools for understanding what is out of balance and what to do about it, or few tools. So where do we go for help? In the East, a different approach has been used for thousands of years, an approach based on careful self-observation for clues about these vague but disturbing symptoms. The Eastern model looks at the life force, that which distinguishes the living from the not living. The life force is expressed externally by markings on your body that precede the development of diagnosable disease. So essentially, we're looking at this outside of the body, and it just makes sense of what's happening to it as the internal part of the body is getting weaker or more disturbed. So there are so many books on this topic. This is a great book, and it's called My Doctor Says I'm Fine, So Why Do I Feel So Bad? Just great book. And again, it's more of a thank you that I needed to bring this up because it's what got me started, to Dr. Margaret Smith-Peet. So thank you, Dr. Peet. Appreciate it. All right. The next one we're moving on to is a product that works exceptionally well if you run your annual blood work and you see that you're coming back high on homocysteine. Homocysteine is a very important marker that's not always run by your MD or PCP on your blood work, and so please do request to have it run. When it's high, it shows inflammation. Not great for cardiovascular disease, as in really bad. So what you want to do is, if you do see this marker high, of course you want to start to eat a less inflammatory diet. Absolutely. Try to do a detox if possible. But at least take a product like Methyl Guard Plus by Thorne Research that helps to reduce homocysteine levels by increasing a certain B vitamin called methylfolate. So it gives you the methylated form. It works exceptionally well. There are always things that you can do about your health from a functional medicine and natural health standpoint. This is one of those things. This isn't going to be a big review. If you have methylation or methyl donor issues, you have high homocysteine, this is a product I do recommend using. I would use 3 caps, which is the full serving in the beginning. Get your lab work tested in about, let's say, 2 to 3 months after using that product, and then wean yourself off after you've included the low inflammatory lifestyle as well. And of course, exercise if you can do that too. Apologize if you hear a massive siren going on in the background. That is what it's like living in the city and having your practice in the city. All right, and the last one I want to review today is a product called Epsom Salt. So we give this recommendation to many, many people. Epsom Salt baths, 20 to 30 minutes as many nights as possible, to not only calm and relax the body, because it's Epsom salt, and Epsom salt is essentially magnesium sulfate, magnesium bound to sulfur, and that's what creates that nice process. So the magnesium is going to help with the relaxation, the dilation of everything, and the sulfur or sulfate is going to help with the detoxification. So again, this is making natural health. Again, I like to use the word woo-woo. Not woo-woo because it's actually science-based. Magnesium bound to sulfur, magnesium sulfate helps with relaxation and detoxification. All you do is put 1 to 2 cups in your bathtub. You can use a half a cup to 1 cup for your kids. You can use 2 cups for adults in about hip height or a little higher water, nice and hot or warm at least water. And you can use this again as many nights as possible. Try to get a nice reputable brand. You can really get any brand that's a good brand. We do recommend the Dr. Teal's. We have no affiliation with Dr. Teal, but they come in lavender and they have chamomile as well. The lavender is really nice for the scent and the aromatherapy as well for relaxing the body. So love that product. Love clients to use it for the relaxation effect and for trying to get a little more magnesium in the body and work on the detoxification through that sulfur as well, the magnesium sulfates. 3 great reviews today of products that I use every single day in my practice. And so I hope you enjoyed them. Please let me know if you'd like to see anything else reviewed on a future Friday in Review. Thanks again for tuning in.
I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stevencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.